Okay, good afternoon everybody. Nice coming to a different city for a change on a Friday rather than one of the racecourses. So I just thought I'd, just before I get into the loyalty programme, I've got a little 2-minute video, if you could just show the video, just to tell you a bit about Jockey Club Racecourses and what we are. Okay, that was a bit about, how do I go back a slide? I think I jumped one there. There we go. Right, that was a little bit about us. A few other quick facts about us. There's some stats there. You can all read what they are. We're pretty big players in the UK's horse tracks. We've got 15 of the leading race courses. Most of the big ones you would have heard of, probably Epsom, Cheltenham, Aintree. So we're pretty big players really. And also, I'm sure many of you know most of those stats. Big industry in the UK, so we're a really important player. 85,000 people probably somehow make their living out in horse racing in the UK, and the Jockey Club racecourses we play a very important part. Right, let's get on to Rewards4Racing. That video you watched there was about 2 years old. We had about 200,000 members of our loyalty scheme back then. We've now got just short of 1.1 million people who are on our Rewards4Racing scheme. What was the objective? Why did I do it? Well, we have about 1.8 million people coming visiting our racecourses, coming racing with us. About 1.5 million people coming 1.2 times a year. We embarked on our loyalty program, one because lots of retailers, and obviously something was going on in 2011. It was very flavour of the month at that point. But what I was trying to do was turn that 1.2 times a year frequency of visit with us into 1.3, 1.5, or really if we could get people to come racing with us twice a year. You could see what a big difference it would make with us. Make a big difference to our commercials so that we can reinvest more back into the sport. And obviously the customer insight and the data collection piece was very, very interesting. So we partnered with a company who were working in the golf sector, and we partnered with them to set up Rewards4Racing. I was very keen to find a solution that, one, wasn't going to cost us an awful lot of money, and it wasn't going to cost our customers a lot of money. Probably like yourselves, I've got loyalty cards in my wallet. I get a bit bored if I'm going into a shop and people ask me, am I a member of this, am I a member of that? I was really keen that this had to be an online cardless solution, and that's what we managed to do. I was also keen that we weren't giving racing away for free. This did have to commercially wash its face for us, that it wasn't going to cost us, certainly wasn't going to cost us money. And I was hoping it could become a commercial revenue flow for us. Okay, we're sort of 6 years into this now. It's a free-to-join program. I'll tell you about it as we move on through the presentation. But it was interesting what Joyce just said about people wanting unique experiences. And we found that people who join our rewards program, they're incredibly loyal to horse racing, and we're incredibly loyal back to them. Since its launch, we've now got up to about 1 million people. I've got about 35 people now. It started with about 4 people who worked in this area. We've now got 35 people who work in our Rewards4Racing scheme. Lots of data analysts. They don't actually know much about racing. But they do know an awful lot about data. They know a lot about big data. Joyce said to me just before we came on stage that she doesn't know much about racing, but she knows lots about big data. And it's quite interesting the sorts of people now who we're recruiting for something like the Jockey Club. Think about it. We've been around since 1750, all about racing. The number of people who now work for us straight from college who are data analysts. We extended the scheme. It doesn't just work on our 15 tracks now. We're also doing it for another racecourse such as York, another racecourse York. We're talking to other racecourses. And just this coming cricket season, which will start next spring, we're also branching out into other sports now with it, and we're doing rewards for cricket, which I think is a very interesting piece, and the kind of sharing of that data, I think is very, very interesting. Okay, so how does it work? Well, it works. Basically, you can make a purchase if you make a purchase and come racing with us, and you tick the box, you opted in to the Rewards4Racing program. If you make a purchase with if you're an online racing post app downloader, things such as a Racing UK customer, you can also opt in and you become a member of the Rewards4Racing scheme. But the really funky stuff now is that third one there about becoming if you're a purchase, we've got 4,000 retailers who participate in this. So basically, if you're shopping online, we've got a number of high street retailers, Halfords being one of them. I always quote, if you're going to Halfords tonight, somewhere in the UK, and you're buying a TomTom satellite for sat nav thing for your car or stereo for your car, you'll get an email from me tonight at 11:30 thanking you for your custom at Halfords, and you've earned X number of points, which you can only redeem when you come back racing with us. And over the last couple of years, we've also partnered with 3 betting companies there, and I've got a slide on those a bit earlier. But they're incredibly happy with the relationship that we've got, because some of our customers are going over to them, and those people have got high propensity to bet and a high propensity for those to be transitioned into some of their other gaming products. But I think the key to it is really the valuable data that we've got, and the fact that it's cardless, it's all online, and it's very, very simple to use. So once you've collected your points at all those retailers, as you can see there on the left, they're some of the big name ones. You can only spend your points back with us on our racecourses, or also with York. So you've built up your stock of points. We talk to people weekly online. We drop you an email. We say how many points you've got, and you can actually then cash those points on when you're buying your tickets for the Cheltenham Festival, or for the Grand National, or any of the 360 race days that we look after. And it's been really, really interesting once we've put the platform into our ticketing platforms, that people can redeem their points at the point of purchase for a ticket. We didn't have that for the first couple of years. The technology wasn't there, but we've managed to bring that in now. And I've learned so much, and the company's learned so much about data and so much about loyalty. It's very interesting. Most of the people use their points to upgrade because they see it as free money. It's a bit like, and once you've upgraded, you never go back. It's a bit like if you turn left on an aeroplane, you never really want to turn right again. And it's interesting in my business, once people have upgraded from being a general race goer into a restaurant, or into a box, or into one of the premier clubs, they never want to go back out, standing in the cold and wet. And I think our loyalty scheme's been really, really a catalyst for us to do that. We've had about 135,000 people last year, 135,000 people who actually cashed in points when they come racing with us. I'd like to get that number higher. I don't want people sitting on lots of points. Our challenge is very much to get people to spend their points. I want to see the points slushing through the system and working. But it's working for us. The people who engage with the programme, that 1.2 times a year number that you saw earlier, that 1.2 number is now up to 2.5 for the people who engage with us, and it's really contributing to the boom that we've got with attendances in our company at the moment. So we've got about 539 million points have been collected in 2015, and that's been based on about £12 million that our customers have spent with our retail partners. Now, the other part of my job is obviously in running the commercial operations of Jockey Club racecourses. Now, some of that data, when I know what my customers, how they're behaving, what they're spending their money on, all that big data stuff that we just saw, that's really valuable when I'm talking to sponsors, incredibly valuable when I'm talking to sponsors when they want to know more about the demographics of people on our racecourses. It's something that I think racing's, we've been lacking on it, and retail's been ahead of us. I touched upon the betting partners. As you can see, there's been about, the data we've got has been about 55,000 of our rewards for racing people have opened new accounts with our betting partners. I'm sure there's a lot more people in the room here know more about the online gambling world than I do, but 55,000 is a really good number, and the feedback we've had from our partners in Betfred and from Cole are that they've been incredibly pleased with it. Quite how it's all going to work out post the authorised betting partners world, we'll have to wait and see, but it puts us in a really good position to to share that data. We also used it, another interesting thing we used it for, we've recently redeveloped Cheltenham Racecourse. We spent 45 million on it, and one of the things we did was the first ever retail bond in British sport at the time, and we used the Rewards4Racing points as part of the interest that we were paying for the investors. So I had about 2,100 people who invested in a bond at Cheltenham. We raised £24.7 million, and of those, about 95% of them said that they take 3% of their interest in Rewards4Racing points. And it's really interesting now to see that kind of flushing through our business and how successful that's been with us. And we've really got people who actually see coming to racing on a Jockey Club racecourse as being a different experience from some of racecourses who haven't got a loyalty programme. What do people say about it? Well, there's some fantastic quotes there from people, and when I was putting the presentation together, I was struggling to find a negative one actually, because it's really simple, it works well, and it hasn't cost me an awful lot of money. We're actually making money out of it, and we're seeing the points come through the system, and I'm getting more people coming racing. But there's some great quotes there about people doing their Christmas shopping online, and presents that they're actually making sure that they're earning Reward4Racing points when they're doing their shopping. So we've been really pleased with it. Love to have a chat about it over a coffee with anybody in more detail, or take some questions, but it's worked fantastically well for us at JCR, and I can only see it getting bigger and better over the coming years. So thanks very much.